So talk about deliveries, Chris. You know, I took one for the team, 2 weeks, bro. I I was about to lose my shit.
Why? What
Seriously.
happened?
Why? What happened? I figured all these gig companies. This is my next project. All these gig companies, Chris. I'm not going to say money laundering, okay? Because I don't think it's money laundering. That's like too big of an offense. But I think money floating. With all these so I'm in California. I have something deplorable called Proposition 22. But now Minnesota is going to have it as of December 15th. Boston already has Prop 32. New York already has it. This is their playbook. They're just going to pass these propositions. So what did they do with Proposition 22 in California? This is what they do. So I said, I'm going to take one for the team, do 2 weeks of deliveries, 2 weeks. So I did 2 weeks of deliveries. Bro, I'm doing $3 trips, bro. $3, bro. 3. Okay? 5. 5 miles for $4. That's the base pay. So I know Prop 22 is going to pay me more, but I have to wait 2 weeks for my money. My money being returned to me 2 weeks later without interest. And then I'm thinking, okay, there's million plus gig workers in California. So this is not an Uber issue, but I did Uber Eats. This is DoorDash. This is Lyft. This is Uber Rideshare. This is Uber Eats. This is Instacart. This Walmart Spark. It's Target Shipped. All these gig companies in California that operate with independent contractor drivers, not only they charge the rider a fee, they collect that, but they underpay, the algorithm underpays or undercuts the base fare by literally at least 50 to 60%. So you don't do it, they go. But if you do it 2 weeks after you finish your time or finish your weeks, we will send you your money back while we're sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars and floating it in a 4 to 4.5% T-bill rates. People, wake up, people. Wake up. Yeah, exactly. Go gig it. I'm lending him money. My broke ass is lending the rideshare companies, delivery companies, the money interest-free while they're taking the interest at 4 to 4.5% T-bill rates. So here's the go. This is what we did. I honestly did. So I tweeted it out. All these deliveries, Prop 22 will come into play. Here's the math, assuming the ping. There's more on this on the tweet, but so I'm on Twitter. Chris is on Twitter. Please go follow us. So this is my 2 weeks, September 16th to 23rd and September 23rd to September 30th. Okay. So I only worked 2 days on that week, but then the other week I worked as much as I could because I have other shit to do. Right. Okay. Chris, I was online for 9 hours. I pretty much took everything because the frequency of orders has collapsed. I don't know if it's the legal accounts and whatever not. I only did 10 trips. I wasn't cherry picking, bro. I was
Beautiful, 33% utilization rate there.
That week, yeah, exactly. So 9 hours online, 3 hours active. Okay. Then I was online 33 hours almost, and I was active less than 10, 9.5 hours, and I did 36 deliveries. So the 326, by the way, is including tips. Thank God to generous people who tip. The only thing I was not doing is I was declining trips that I thought did not have a tip. Like it would come in at $2.10 for 5 miles. I'm like, no, that has no tip. But if it came in $4 at, or $5 at 5 miles, I'm like, yeah, they're going to pay me $3. So there's like a $2 tip in there. So long story short, my net fare, this is the base fare that I received from Uber for those 2 weeks. First week was $37.94. The next week was $134.62. The rest is all tips. Again, generous tippers in my neighborhood. Thank God. So then, now the waiting game begins. Now I wait 2 weeks. 2. Okay? Then Uber goes, look at this, Sergio. We're going to send you your money back after we grab interest on it for 2 weeks. I'm like, what kind of bullshit is this? This is called Proposition 22. So when these types of propositions like Boston Prop 32, Minnesota Prop 15, New York Prop 26, they're all coming around to you guys and like, oh, this is the guarantee minimum. Do not buy it. Go tell your people, the legislators, this is bullshit. So anyway, Uber set on my $136.73 for 2 weeks because the guaranteed minimum, by the way, the minimums that they set, Chris, has become the ceiling. So they price every trip 50%, and then they give me my money back 2 weeks later after they floated for 2 weeks. Why don't you just fucking price? First of all, why don't you give me my money the end of the day? Why am I waiting 2 weeks for my own money? Number one.
Sounds
number
like
two,
a little racket there.
Yeah. Okay. Number two, I'm lending you interest-free money for 2 weeks. Why am I waiting 2 weeks? Why can't you do it weekly? Okay. But besides that, why don't you just pay me right on the spot? Why are you pricing these trips, these deliveries at 50%, 40% of what they should be? Because you're going to give me my money back anyway. Just fucking price it right. Let's not play the game. No.
Well, you answered the question already, because then they can charge the interest. You're giving them a nice little free loan there.
Chris, this is hundreds of millions of dollars, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
This is just me working nothing. Like in 2 weeks, how many hours did I work? 32 and a half plus 9. Okay, 42 hours online. Total work was like 12. So they're running at like 28, 30% utilization rate. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so that's what it is. There's no orders. What am I supposed to do? And so anyway, but I was being productive doing my shit out there. Long story short, they have my money, and then they return it back to me saying, thanks for the interest-free loan, Serge. 2 weeks later.
Wait, hold on. Didn't they say that they will they will pay you once a week in their driver pay addendum?
No.
So doesn't that now have to go to once a week?
No, it didn't say that. This is from Prop 22. No, it didn't say that. But look at this, Chris. Do you see the week that I worked the 32 hours online and 9.5 active, right? Do you see that amount? $134.62, right? Right?
Yep.
And 2 weeks later, they pay me $136.73. That's almost exactly the amount. That's why I'm saying they're pricing everything at 50%, holding my money for 2 weeks, and then returning to me like 2 weeks later. What is happening here? Is this in the law? Pablo, are you here? Is this in the fucking law? This is bullshit.
No. This is what we like to call a loophole.
What my hole? This is, bro. This is garbage. So literally, it's the same amount. I just noticed that actually. 134.62 net fare for that week. 136.73 is what I got 2 weeks later. So take my 136.73. I'm sure there are people who work 60, 70, 80 hours, right? Their numbers are going to be a lot higher. And figure that out times, I don't know, million drivers, million couriers combined between all these apps in California, right? That's a lot of money. So I want to get my money. I want to get it now, Yeah, that's not the point, Elias.
JG Wentworth. JG Wentworth. It's my money and I want it now.
I want it now. Yeah, that's not the point, Elias. We're not talking about a minimum. We're talking about them pricing trips. Okay, if you get a delivery 5 miles for $4 and you do it, and with Prop 22, 120% of minimum wage plus 35 cents a mile it should be priced at 8. Why are they sending it to you at 4, holding to your 4, and sending it back to you 2 weeks later? That's exactly what's happening.
One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it. Well, I think the other thing is, are there any drivers in California that are doing delivery only that are actually making above the earnings guarantee?
Not on deliveries. It's impossible.
That's
not possible.
That's why I posed that question out there.
No,
because it's probably very few and far between.
Rideshare, definitely. Deliveries, no. No, deliveries are no. But if you look at these stats though, so you take the 136, Chris, right? So you take the 326, 136, 326 is what? 455, let's say. Put another 100, 555, right? So with the Prop 22 adjustment, $550 in 41 hours online time. That's about $12 an hour before expenses. And then my active time was like $40 an hour, somewhere in that range, right? On 12 and a half hours, 555, right about there. Okay. But for all those trips, I did 36 in 1 week and 10. So 46 trips. My active miles were only 156.9, 157 miles I drove. And the way I deliver is like I have my triangulation correct, and then I don't drive too much. I don't have almost no dead miles, maybe a mile or two after I drop it off. But long story short, you drive less with deliveries. And, you know, for whatever it is, I'm picking up food, dropping off food, it's not bad, $40 an active hour. But my point is, this is the next investigation. How many millions are being floated for 2 weeks? How many millions? How many hundreds of millions of dollars? I want my money back. There you go.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're looking at you just did the couple of states. You know, you got all the states except for Seattle and Washington that have a different law, but California, Minneapolis, New York, Pennsylvania, or not Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, they're all operating under this exact same thing.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's where we are. And if you're gonna do deliveries, you know, bite your teeth and accept those $4 5-mile orders, knowing fully well knowing that you're going to get your, you know. So the trick on these, Chris, is what I do is like I don't look at the base fare because I know I'm going to get double of it like in 2 weeks, right? But then I like look at the tip. Like there are some really generous people out there who tip me nicely, because 134 was the base, 326. So my tip to net fare ratio was like almost, you know, 1.8 to 1, which is good. I like to keep it around 2 to 1. But so yeah, so Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, Grubhub.
You know what you need to get? You got to get a
Give me my
bike.
money now. Don't make me wait 2 weeks. You're rich enough.
You gotta
I
get a
don't need
bike.
to lend you zero interest loans. I'm not the Federal Reserve. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think you got to get a bike. If you're only doing
E-bike?
156 miles for that, get an e-bike.
E-bike? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, some of the trips are like long, bro, like 6 miles, 5 miles. The food
Yeah,
will never get there.
That's what are you talking about? Some of these e-bikes can get hit 30 mile an hour.
No, I ain't doing it at this age. If I break some shit or just somebody hits me, I'm a dead man. I'm too valuable to do this shit. It's like,
True. True.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm gonna investigate this. Actually, I sent this to Uber. I go, why are we waiting 2 weeks, by the way? Like, who wrote that? Like, whose law is that? You know? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And of
I think
course,
it's
there's still tip baiting.
loophole.
I got tip baited once out of those for 46 deliveries
Bastards.
because Uber allows the consumer to get the food, eat the food, shit the food out, and then take the tip out.
Bastards.
You have 1 hour to take the tip out. No other company, by the way, does that. And Dara Khosrowshahi got tip baited last year when he was doing the PR stunt for the Wall Street Journal. He got tip baited. There's still tip baiting happening on Uber. There's still 1 hour they give the consumer to take the tip out.
Well, as we said, I think it was last week or the week before, if you put a tip in, that's where it's locked. If you want to tip up more after the fact, that's different, but you cannot take it away.
DoorDash stopped it. DoorDash used to do it. DoorDash goes, if you put a tip in and the guy finishes the trip, delivers it, you can't mess with it. Uber goes, you have 1 hour to decide to lower it or to raise it. I had never been raised in my life. Lower, yes. Actually, that's a good point. They also float the money that you are, and don't fast cash out. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe higher fast cash. Yeah, I mean, that's not as dependable as this thing. This is 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a long time, bro. 2 weeks a long
Well, I mean,
time.
A lot of places pay you as an employee every Friday or, every other week. So they're basically floating that money for the time being anyways. So
Yeah, but this is this is on top of Chris. This is on top of. So what they're doing is they're charging the consumer a lot for the deliveries, because I went on the website and I looked at what the actual delivery fees were. Right, Uber was making hand over fist on the service fees. Okay, so they're paying, like the customer would pay 12, Uber would pay me 4, but they should be paying me 8, and then they would hold on to the 4 for 2 weeks on each trip, and then give me my money back. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Just,
well, they made like $5 floating your money for that time.
Well, multiply that times millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people. So, yeah.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.